the ETF alone is going to convert 300 billion into Bitcoin.
Okay.
From fiat. 300 billion.
Wow.
I think will convert from fiat to Bitcoin. Okay.
Nice.
Let's double that as people buy altcoins and stuff. So that's 600 billion. So that's basically doubling the base.
Yep.
Okay. Of where we are today. That's just on the ETF. Okay. That doesn't include any FOMO or any other stuff. So that doubles us to 1.2 trillion. Let's bump that to 1.5. So what's the multiplier? So if the multiplier's 3-ish, I think 5's easy.
Renowned hedge fund manager and crypto bull Mark Yusko is preparing for the next cryptocurrency bull market, much like the rest of the industry. But unlike most other investors, Yusko seems to have fully mapped out his expectations for the bull market, especially for top crypto assets like Bitcoin, Ether, XRP, and Solana. Yusko, the founder and managing partner at Morgan Creek Capital Investments, predicts that the 2024 bull market will be so massive that it will be an easy feat for the overall cryptocurrency market cap to go from the current $1.37 trillion to at least $5 trillion. Yusko believes crypto winter, a period of marked declines in cryptocurrency prices, ended around June 2022, almost immediately after the Terra Luna collapse in May and the subsequent contagion that took down firms like Three Arrows, Celsius, and Voyager. After that came spring, which is usually characterized by periods of choppy price actions. Yusko attributes the FTX collapse, which took crypto prices even lower than the Terra Luna collapse, just the typical ups and downs of spring. According to Yusko, we are now in crypto summer, which he believes started in June 2023, exactly a year after the end of crypto winter. While summer lasts, Yusko predicts that we will see more higher highs and higher lows, currently exemplified by Bitcoin being well on its way to $40,000. But the true magic will not begin until June 2024, a period Yusko describes as crypto fall. According to the popular hedge fund manager, fall is when we get the parabolic increases and the blow off top, and this fall will be like no other. It is the period when institutional investors will come aboard in droves, which will really help to move prices. Yusko also believes 2024 will mark the true beginning of the crypto its curve adoption going completely mainstream, and Bitcoin will of course be the foundation for it all. We will now bring you clips from Yusko's latest appearance on 3T Warrior's Good Morning Crypto Show. But before we do, please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. You can also join the conversation by dropping your comments and observations in the comments section below. Thanks and enjoy the video.
We've done pretty well in 15 years. We just had the 15th anniversary of the white paper, right? October 31st. I always loved the fact that the white paper, which was completed obviously before October 31st, was released on Halloween, right? The day before Dia de los Muertos. And I just find that ironic. I mean, Satoshi had a sense of humor, right? And what I think is amazing, in 15 years, we've gone from zero, no adoption of the technology, no one even knew what the technology was, to your point, we hit 3 trillion. Today we're, $1.5 trillion. $1.5 trillion of value from a technology that is in its infancy, right? I talk about this, there's the capability of something and there's the potential of something. So what is the capability of most 15-year-olds? It's not very high. I mean, we all love them. They're our kids. They're nice. And some of them are wunderkinds, but the average 15-year-old doesn't have a lot of capability. Their potential is amazing. Okay. I show this picture of an 11-year-old LeBron James all the time. And I say, what would you pay for this guy's future earnings? Oh, you can't say that. That's like, I'm not saying you're buying the person. I'm saying, how much would you pay for this kid's future earnings? And at 11 years old, LeBron didn't look like anybody special. He looked like any other 11-year-old. He wasn't even that big. And people are saying, I'm not paying for that kid. Oh, you missed a big, I would have paid a decent amount for that. But the capability of Bitcoin today and other assets in the ecosystem is solid. It's good. But the potential, unbelievable. I mean, Bitcoin will become the global asset settlement layer, right? Every asset in the world will ultimately settle down onto Bitcoin. I believe that, right? Now, Does that mean there won't be any other tokens? No. Does that mean there won't be any other protocols? No. Right? We have 5-ish, 6, 7 protocols that matter. 2024, right, which hasn't happened yet, is the beginning of the cycle that I've been talking about forever. 54 with the mainframe, 68 with the microchip, 82 with the personal computer, 96 with the internet, 2010 with the mobile net, and 2024 with the truth net, okay, the Web3, the internet of blockchains. That's the beginning. And if you go back to that 1998 chart, right, that was halfway through the beginning, right? 1996 was the internet. 2000, 4 years later, there's a bust. 1958, there was a bust. 1972, there was a bust. You had a 4-year period. And then there's a bust. And in that bust, there was a cover story about the internet being dead. And Paul Krugman said it'll never be more important than a fax machine. And there was the picture of the little sock puppet from pets.com run over it with tire tracks. And Mark Andreessen, right, the guy who invented the modern internet, because he invented the browser, which made it, you didn't have to be a tech geek to connect to the internet. He said all these ideas were right. They were just early. Now, early is the euphemism for wrong, right? You're just wrong. And ultimately, all of these ideas are going to be right. And everything we have is going to be tokenized. Everything we have is going to be settled on blockchains. Everything we do is going to be using micropayments of cryptocurrencies, all of it, but not tomorrow. And that's why it's such an exciting time to be an investor. And every time there's a correction, the right answer is not to run away, but to buy more.
The crypto is dead rhetoric is something all cryptocurrency investors are very familiar with. Until recently, the industry has pretty much been getting mainstream coverage only when something negative happens. When prices rise, most mainstream news outlets ignore the crypto space like a plague, but they come circling like vultures whenever prices are down. During every bear market, there are lots and lots of think pieces and propaganda videos about how crypto is dead and how assets like Bitcoin will really never amount to anything. But if the last 15 years have taught us anything, it is that this is here to stay. Rephrasing Satoshi's famous words, if this is not going to zero, it's definitely going to 200,000, then 500,000, then $1 million and above. During the interview, Yusko also gives his opinion on the timeline for wider cryptocurrency adoption. All technological revolutions of the last few decades have followed the S-curve adoption. Adoption starts slowly when the technology is still expensive, bulky, and not very popular. At this stage, there is a lot of work being carried out to improve the technology and make it more available to people from all walks of life. At this point, you have the innovators and some early adopters. Then, as more work gets done, the early majority begins to trickle in as the technology becomes more popular and a part of people's daily activities. A period of rapid innovation and massive adoption follows, and it's anyone's guess what happens after that. Yusko believes 2024 will mark the shift from early adopters to early majority and a marked increase in the technology's market share. Okay.
First wave, that yellow wave, Tim Draper, who I think we'll talk about later, Tim calls it the IS curve. So you get this little I, this little mania around every new innovation, and then it peaks and it crashes, and then we get what's called the trough of disillusionment. And everybody's like, oh, down in the dumps, and oh my God, it's never going to work, it's never going to happen. And then suddenly, it just starts to ramp. And when you hit that knee of the curve, when you get from the early adopters to the middle majority, it takes 10 years to go through the first phase, right? To get the first 10%. That's a long time. 10 years is a long time. And you're just waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting. And the problem is you FOMO'd in at the peak of the eye and you lost some money. And that sucks. But you got to be patient and you got to accumulate and you got to average down your cost. And because ultimately that slope, that upward slope of the blue line is going to happen. So the S curve is still a decade away, right? I mean, the ramp of the S curve, but the main cycle is always 14 years. And why doesn't that go faster? Well, it's because look, at the core of everything are humans. And humans don't change, right? We have greed, we have fear, we have a small creative class, And it depends on the token. It depends on the process and where we are, because every asset is different. But at the end of the day, we are a decade. Because I'll say the first 5-ish years were more of a science project, and it was kind of the precursor before the trend. But ultimately, 2024 is what I will argue is the beginning of the adoption trend. And so, that means that 4 years from now, we're going to have a bust, just like from 96 to 2000, we had a bust. And that bust won't be the end. It'll actually be the beginning, because in the downturns, and like we're in one now, right? 2022, bear market, recession. They didn't call it a recession, but there was a recession. 650,000 people have been laid off at the big tech companies. 650,000. That is a lot of people. Now, what happens when that happens? Some of them say, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to start a new company. And some of those companies become really big. And that's the nature of innovation. Innovation cycles are accelerated when you allow failure. In this next run, to answer your question in two ways, I think the ETF alone is going to convert 300 billion into Bitcoin.
Okay.
From fiat. 300 billion.
Wow.
I think will convert from fiat to Bitcoin. Okay.
Nice.
Let's double that as people buy altcoins and stuff. So that's 600 billion. So that's basically doubling the base.
Yep.
Okay. Of where we are today. That's just on the ETF. Okay. That doesn't include any FOMO or any other stuff or any use cases like for XRP and the like. So let's say, that doubles us to 1.2 trillion. Let's bump that to 1.5. So what's the multiplier? So if the multiplier's 3-ish.
What we saw from last time.
Yeah,
usually the same multiplier. Okay, so fair enough.
That puts it 4.5.
4.5.
Rounded up to 5. I think 5's easy.
Yusko is predicting a massive rise in the price of cryptocurrencies, starting with the approval of the spot Bitcoin exchange-traded fund in 2024. According to the Morgan Creek Capital founder and CIO, the next bull market will be so massive that crypto will easily smash its previous all-time high of $3 trillion and probably even hit a new one. By the end of crypto fall, which will be around 12 to 18 months from the beginning of the bull market, Yusko is predicting that the overall crypto market cap will be around $4 to $5 trillion, with Bitcoin again taking the lion's share. What are your thoughts on Yusko's interview and predictions for the 2024 crypto bull market? Please drop your comments as well as your own predictions in the comments section below. Also, ensure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.